My name is Kaitlin Cluff. I'm a senior at Granger High School. I was born and raised in West Valley City, Utah. My whole family, like my dad went here and then my sister went here and my whole family, like lots of cousins and stuff have came here, so I guess it's just like tradition. I have my mom and then my dad, but he passed away when I was 12. And then I have an older sister, a younger brother, and then we adopted my cousin, so now she's my little sister. My mom never remarried, so she's raising 4 kids on her own. My mom is the executive assistant for the KSL News team. I've been the editor of the newspaper my whole high school career. I wake up at 5:30 and then I get ready and I usually don't eat breakfast, and then I come to school and I have to make sure everyone has topics, writes their articles, and then I have to edit all of their articles, and then I have to give them something to do while I'm putting together the paper. That takes up like my whole life. And then sometimes I have to stay after school to edit it also. I want to be a writer or an editor or both because I'm good at both.
How good are you?
Pretty good. I have a 3.82 GPA. Ever since we adopted Jasmine, lots of babysitting. Right after my sister graduated, she got diagnosed with lupus. So lots of doctor's appointments and stuff like that that she goes to. So usually I'm the one staying home babysitting and waiting by the phone, stuff like that. But yeah, it's mostly just not like anything too demanding, I guess. More like giving up the fun stuff. So my mom lost her job a year after my dad passed away. She didn't have a job for a long time, but with the 4 of us, it's pretty easy, you know what I mean? Like not too bad, not too expensive, but then when we found out Aubrey got sick, we didn't have health insurance, and what happened was she just woke up one morning and her legs were like super swollen and she had like red bumps all over, and so we kind of thought she was having an allergic reaction. So she went to the hospital and they thought she had some blood disease. And then so they did a blood test and then it came back and they said that she was in kidney failure. We rushed her from the clinic to the hospital and then they admitted her, and then she stayed there for like 5 days, and they were doing every test on her because they had no idea what was actually wrong with her, like why she was in kidney failure. Ultimately, after days of testing, the doctors concluded that my sister had lupus. This was extremely hard on my family because we didn't have any health insurance, and each prescription that my sister had to take would cost over $90. To say things looked grim was definitely an understatement. I was only 14 when my sister got sick. It would have been easy for me to flunk out of school at that time due to all the problems my family was facing, but instead I felt driven to succeed because my mom was working so hard just to keep a roof over our heads. I almost felt as though I owed it to my mom to do my very best in all that I did. Compared to the stress at home, school was actually easy and a lot more fun. And besides, this was definitely not the most difficult thing I had been through in my life. When I was really little, I don't know how old really, my dad became an alcoholic. He drank a lot, like from the time he woke up till the time he went to bed. There was a lot of really scary moments, I guess. I remember I went outside, it was like time to go. And when I went out there, he was laying on the ground, just laying there from being drunk at 6 in the morning. So I called my mom and I thought he was dead. So I was like, dad's dead. And she was like, what? So I told her what happened, and she came home, and he had woken up by then, but she was already driving home. Addiction would eventually rob my father of his life prematurely. Losing my dad at a young age was the most difficult thing my family and I have ever had to go through. It's been 6 years now, and I will probably never get completely past the pain of losing my dad, and I doubt that I'll ever be glad that I had these experiences, but I will say this. Many of the positive personal attributes that I've acquired are due to me having experienced hard things. I don't think I would have the work ethic that I have today if it wasn't for me having to help out so much around the house when my sister got lupus. I don't think I would be able to empathize with and love others like I do if I hadn't experienced the heartbreak of losing my father. In 1 week, I'll be graduating from Granger. This place has been my home. I love the fact that I've been able to walk the same halls as my father, older sister, and younger brother. This place has given me so many experiences that have changed my life forever. So if I could share anything positive with all of my fellow Lancers, it would be what I have learned from my many trials. If you're dealing with addiction, whether it be a family member like me or even you have an addiction, just know the choices that you're making are physical and emotional, and they affect everyone around you, and you don't want to ruin relationships or friendships or your own life because of something that is most likely going to be temporary anyway. There's 3 things that I suggest people do when they've been through a hard situation. The first would be to learn from it. So whether it be your own mistake or someone else's, if it's yours, learn from it and make sure that you don't make that mistake again. And if it's someone else's, you can learn from it by seeing how it affected them and the people around them and making sure you don't make that mistake. The second one would be to experience it fully. Not only experiencing it, but allowing yourself to understand it and be mad or sad or glad that that's the way that it turned out. And the last thing would be to be able to appreciate it. So not only learn from it, but be able to understand that everything happens to you for a reason, and be able to understand that reason and kind of see why that happened to you and how you're a better person because of it now. I am Kaitlin Cluff. I'm going to be a world-renowned journalist, and I am Granger.